New Orleans Saints 2025 schedule has dropped, and boy, does it have some takeaways and things to discuss. As the Saints have no primetime games at all for the first time since the year 2000, even in the awful years of Katrina, even in the early years of Sean Payton, when we still weren't respected very much until that first season in 06, we had primetime games. We had primetime games in the Andy Dalton and the Ian Book years. And when Trevor Siemian had to come in, we've had primetime games through the last few bad seasons of the New Orleans Saints football, really of the franchise's history. But you know what that tells me for my Saints not having any primetime games? First of all, that means the league's not going to be looking at us, which I think would be great. We don't need that right now. We're rebuilding. We're finally leading into something that is very uncharted territory for us. We don't need that extra pressure on the players or the new staff. And two, they don't want that embarrassment on national television. And respectfully, I don't know if I can blame them. I'm going to be doing a record prediction in a little bit in this segment, and I feel very overinflated, too optimistic for the few wins that I have for my Saints, which doubles down on the fact that they don't want this crap on national television. And I kind of can't blame them. But that's okay. Bring on the doubt. Pull the wool over your eyes. Don't take a look at us, because if we start making some noise at certain points in the season, I could see us getting flexed to a primetime game. The NFL will not turn away from a great story, whether it's negative or positive. Whether it's about Deshaun Watson or DeMar Hamlin or Myles Garrett's new $40 million a year contract, the NFL will not turn away from a good story. And if the Saints start to become a good story, I could see the NFL flexing us to a primetime game. No short weeks for the Saints for right now. All of our games will be played on Sunday at either 1 o'clock or 4:15, whatever. We will not be on a standalone national television game. So if there's no primetime, I don't even know if we're really going to be on some 4:30 games. Let me check real quick, because I know all the times and everything are out. Let's see. 1 o'clock. Okay, we have a 4:05 game on the road on Seattle, week 4 at Seattle. 4:25 game against the Patriots, 4:05. Yeah, so we have no primetime games, which I just stated. We don't play at night at all. It's either in the afternoon or in the early evening. So there's no short weeks, no Thursday night football, no Sunday night football, and then you got to turn around, or no Sunday football, you got to turn around and play Thursday, or Thursday night football, then you got to turn around and play Monday, or playing on a Saturday. Like, no short weeks is great, because it means you'll get your full your full duration of rest. Maybe knock down on some of those injuries. We know how injured the Saints have been, and we have a new sports science coach in the building from the Eagles. So I'm hoping that could really pay dividends as well. The second weakest strength of schedule for the Saints. Now, we know this is a very meaningless stat, kind of a pointless, aspect of the schedule to look at, because it's based off of the win percentage from teams of last year. And a lot of those teams have changed. There's new quarterbacks, there's new coaches, new players, new rosters, new depth charts, new schemes. Teams change every year. Drafts, trades. But this is the third year in a row that we have now had the weakest or the second weakest strength of schedule. And we have not done better than 5 to 7 wins. Now we have a new head coach, a rookie head coach, technically. Now we have a rookie quarterback, more than likely, in Tyler Shough. Still have the old expensive roster. Thankfully, we've created some cap space with Derek Carr's retirement. We'll see what we do with that there. But the second weakest strength of schedule, no primetime games, so there's no attention, no short weeks for the Saints. Could anything be set up better for this team to completely lean into a rebuild and not have it be crazy difficult for them? I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a diehard fan. You also have the week 11 bye week. So you can get through the first, 2/3 of the season, get a nice bye weekend. Let's say you're possibly playing well at the bye. You've only got 5, 6, 7 weeks down the stretch. 7 weeks, because we would go to week 18. Sorry about that range there. So week 11 bye also complements you very well. I would like to see it right in the middle of the season, week 8, week 9, but it's all good. It's beggars can't be choosers. We'll take it where it's at. No division games for the Saints until week 8 at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. kind of cool with that. They do pack, 6 of our last, I think, 9 games will be divisional games. So they're definitely going to be packed in. Or no, let's see, week 18. So 60% of the last 10 games of the season are going to be divisional games, which is fine. I'd like to see them a little earlier, but if anything, give you the first half of the season to really click, not have those divisional wins count against you if you're not playing well. Again, no high expectations for the Saints. I think, again, I'll tell you in a little bit what range of wins I think this team has. But you having divisional games later in the year, I just think that's a plus because it lets you get the wheels on the bus before you start getting into the games that really mean something. The Saints have won 6 consecutive season openers, which is the current longest such streak in the NFL. And this is actually the first time in 7 years since 2018 that the Saints have opened at home in back-to-back games for the first 2 games of the year. So I love to see that. The Saints are only favored in 1 game next season as of right now, 8:39 p.m. Eastern Time, May 20th of 2025 when I record this podcast. They're favored in 1 game next season, and that's at home against the Jets, which I think is rightfully so. I think there are a couple of other games we could be favored in, like at home against the Giants. I think we could even be maybe favored against the Cardinals. It is what it is. It's just Vegas. We're favored by 1.5 against the Jets. Definitely just thought that was interesting. Your tough games, which you don't have a lot of tough games on the schedule, and your tough environments, you get those early on, really outside of the Rams coming up in the Rams come up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Rams come up in week 9. So really your front half of the schedule, you have your Rams, your Bills, your Niners. You're going to Chicago. You're going to Seattle. You're hosting the Patriots. You're hosting the Bucs. Like, it feels like a lot of your tough games are really up front because then again in the back end, Falcons twice, Panthers twice, kind of Bucs twice, Jets, Titans, Dolphins. And again, I just said it. The Saints have the second easiest schedule in the NFL, but those tough games and those tough environments come early. You're at Seattle week 3. You're at Buffalo week 4. You're at Chicago week 7. Those are a lot of cold weather states, so you're more than likely going to be getting those games middle to end of October, maybe early November, so it might be bearing on you a little bit, but you get those tough environments early rather than later before your bye week. Now let's get into a record prediction for the 2025 New Orleans Saints season. I've got the Saints going 6-2 at home, wins against the Cardinals, which is a fringe win for me. It could go either way. Giants, Bucs, Panthers, Falcons, and Jets will all be home wins. Niners and Patriots will be losses in the Dome. The Saints are going to go 2-7 on the road. Potentially the only game they could win, I believe, on the road is going to be the Miami Dolphins. They could beat the Titans in Tennessee, which I think that's a fringe game. I just think Cam Ward's possibly better than any quarterback we have on the roster, and Brian Callahan has already been a coach for a little bit. Not that I think that he's better than Kellen Moore, but again, we're going to be in Tennessee in Week 17 after the bye. Now, the losses on the road, the Falcons, the Bucs, the Panthers, the Rams, the Bears, the Bills, and the Seahawks. I think that is, non-explanatory there. I do believe we could mess around and beat the Bears, but I think Ben Johnson might be a little higher than Kellen Moore right now. And again, I believe Caleb Williams he is better than any quarterback that we have in our room right now. We're going to go 3-3 in the division. I believe Kellen Moore has enough to at least go 500 in the division. Maybe 2-4, but I'm confident we can go 3-3. We're going to split with everybody. I think Kellen Moore, if he doesn't get it on the first time around with the division games, he'll make the adjustments. He'll know the opponent. He'll be able to correct it on the back end. So overall, the Saints are really anywhere between a 6-11 and an 8-9 team, but that's solely because of the schedule. We still have a rookie quarterback. We still have a rookie head coach. We still have an old and expensive roster. We still have a lot of holes on this roster, even after the draft. I thought the draft was solid. But the 6 to 8 wins, maybe you could float between 5 to 7, is solely because of your second easiest schedule in the NFL. I have the Saints starting 2-5, and I think there's a good chance that the Saints could be maybe 7-8 walking into the last 2 weeks of the year, and who knows what could be happening at that point. I don't really anticipate the Saints being 7-8 walking into the last 2 games of the year. But if they are, all things considered with how this offseason has been and the expectations at this point on May 20th, I'll take it. I would happily take it. So I want to hear from you guys in the chat and in the comments. My New Orleans Saints 2025 schedule reactions and predictions. I thought it was a lot of great things to dig into from the schedule here. It's actually the first time I've kind of looked at the schedule that way instead of trying to, really take a look at everyone's. I do want to talk more about the schedule on a later episode here on the show. I know we've got some time to be able to do it.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.